Hello, everybody! That was a big bit explosion from Ollie. Thank you very much, Ollie and Midori and Erin, for filling that cup as beautifully as you did. And Erin, thank you
Yeah,
for the birthday cupcakes.
you're
Absolutely
welcome.
appreciate it. All right,
Right.
let's see. There are three cupcakes here. So that means for my birthday, I get to award three PCs gifts. Let's
Sure.
see which ones they're going to be.
Knife, an axe.
Oh, what do you do? Woo, yay! What do you do for your with your house there, Luca?
I would probably try to mingle with people who are my ranking or lower, and
Mhm.
just try to hear the rumors going on, of what's going on with our house, of what recent activities have been. You know what I mean? Just try to hear what's been happening.
Hear about the world.
I've been traveling for a month and a half, haven't really heard much,
Mm.
so I wanna hear what's going on.
Well, you've been traveling, yeah. Since you left here to go there and come back here, you still haven't gotten to Sharn yet. But since
Right,
you left
yeah.
here to go and come back, it has been actually more than a month and a half because how long your friends were in prison and everything. It's been, I think, over 2 months. Even,
Yeah.
since you were here. So yeah, no, you more or less everything's effectively the same. There's a lot of other things that are happening in the world that you guys just really don't have your scope focused on, like the tensions that are growing between Thrain and Karnath are getting pretty extreme. It's one of those things where, of course, your house puts all of the blame on Thrain, and you understand that your house has a skewed perspective, but they put all of the blame on Thrain for why it is that the hostilities are starting to really get there. You hear about the tensions growing between Ondair and Eastern Ondair are getting pretty intense.
Western Under.
My apologies, Western Ondair. That's because that's the way a map works. Left is west. Um, but between Ondair and Western Ondair are getting pretty intense. There was a report that came in through the Cornborough Chronicle at one point in time that there was literally an entire town was slaughtered. Like everybody that was there was found dead. But this wasn't like an Ondarian town. This is like a Western Ondarian town. So it's one of those like, ooh, who did that? The Crown is saying it wasn't sanctioned by them, but was it? You know what I mean? Like things there are getting very difficult. Even in Dargun, there's been a lot of happenings that are going on over there. Your house is having a hard time maintaining the regular flow of people to conscript from Dargun because of the fact that one of the largest clans is taking over like so aggressively. This has been going on for a long time, but it's taking over so aggressively, and their approach sometimes is to just try to wipe out the other clans. And it's kind of like join us or die. And so things are just happening very aggressively throughout the world. Strangely enough, nobody's really talking about the Lazar principalities like at all. I mean, at all. It's kind of like, huh? Like, so what's going on with the principalities? The norm. So like,
Okay.
piracy and death, the norm.
So Scott, before we leave here, I won't waste time with what the note says, but I want to send a letter to my father, given the news that coming out of Dargon.
Okay.
Will, something I would talk to Luca about.
Mhm.
We should try, and especially you, because he doesn't know you know. You should try to keep an eye on what Nico is doing.
Right.
Because if he starts pursuing political pursuits or whatnot, that might
Red
be a
flag.
hint. Yes, exactly. So you might want to try to keep an eye on that.
So yeah, so if she says that, what I'll do first and foremost to make it kind of seem to divert eyes elsewhere, I would try to pull up more information on where we actually just came from,
Mhm.
and see if they've heard what's been happening now that I have the information that the person in charge was essentially getting fired from their post. But I won't mention that, but I'll see what they know about that, about the whole stronghold there, and see if they know any information about that. And then I'll, after like schmoozing for a bit, would probably try to write a letter to to both Nico and to my mother.
So the amount of time that you guys are spending doing this stuff actually is going to elongate your time spent in this town by a couple of days, because you're spending a lot of time trying to gather information and everything. Which honestly, with how long you're on the road and how long you're traveling with a rotting knoll head, it's probably nice to sleep on a nice warm bed, right?
Right.
So so
I've
you
got a
got
question, Scott.
please go right ahead.
If we're in the town for a while, just simple a yes or no answer. Did I get enough from the gnolls to start making a potion of worth?
Yeah.
Okay, so then I'd actually spend some of the downtime like in the tavern. I don't know if anyone's around, but I'd be brewing a potion.
Okay. Cool.
Can I go tier 1 or tier 2?
I would have
I'm
to look
assuming
that up.
tier 1.
One, yeah, I have to look that up.
I don't know the experience of knots, but yeah, I'm thinking I can make like a tier 1. You have to tell me the amount afterwards, but whatever. It's
Sure,
no
sure, sure.
rush in those kind of things.
Well, because gnolls are half a challenge rating each. Which is
Yeah, I think I might be able to make exactly one tier 1 potion then, which is fine because that's what I'm going to do.
Cool. So we'll worry about that afterwards. So we have the gnolls. Sorry, not the gnolls. You guys are going around finding out the information, sending the letter out there and everything, asking specifically about where it was that's going on, the place you came from, and eventually you were called to speak to the person that's running the house beneath in this area.
Okay.
Okay, it's actually a woman. It's the woman by the name of Talia.
When
It's Talia Suzanne Denith, of course.
when being called, I would actually assess whether it seems appropriate that I bring Kieran with me.
It's one of those things you're welcome to bring. You're welcome to bring her, but it is not appropriate.
I guess I would extend a hand and I would ask if she wanted to join.
It's definitely not appropriate. Then yes, Karen would accept.
Ha! I like that.
It's one of those things where you
accept
like
if
get an
she accepts,
invitation,
but-
and Kieran's familiar with the kind of invitation that you just received, and she knows that that's a big no-no because she gets similar ones from her own family, and yeah.
And she's like, yeah, that's fine.
She's that person showing up to Thanksgiving dinner with an intention
Yeah, right?
to mess it all up.
Yep.
That's okay.
All right. This is fine.
I let her come with me. I don't try to grill her or anything. I just hope she sees it as like a sign of, okay.
I will probably tell you it's probably a mistake. Just so
No,
you're
it
aware.
probably is, but
All right.
Okay. So when you go and you speak with her, it's in an office, which is not unusual. It's a very militant-like office, so the room is, it's got a very little warmth to it. But other than that, it's functional, it's practical, it has all the recordings and everything that she needs to run a large port for barges traveling to and from Droam, is mostly where travelers coming through here are now heading west to Droam. So it makes sense that you'd be coming from there. And so when the door knocks and you hear, enter, and you go in, you see that she is literally just finished doing something, because she, of course, is always a busy woman. And when you come walking in, she stands up out of just, she doesn't need to. She stands up to greet you, because she's not a meek person by any means. And then, she just gives you like a solid, like, this is going to be a business talk kind of look. And then when she sees Kieran walking in behind you, you can see her face falls a bit.
does she mention it? Does she just, her face falls a bit?
Her face falls a bit for right now.
All right, as of right now, I'll give her the same respect and like a similar greeting back of just like extended hand, a handshake, and say, I'm glad you've called upon me.
You've brought with you a member of a different house. Why?
She's been accompanying me in my travels.
And if you were to invite Reich, he is somebody that I would have been more comfortable with.
Do you think it's best she leave?
She knows my name.
I think it's best that she's not here for our house's business.
Not my name, not the person that's been with him for
Well,
with the
fuck you too.
Denifs for months. Just saying. That's
I'll-
right. Not me.
Just right. Yeah, they don't like you, style boy. I'll turn to Karen with like a raised eyebrow. I wait to see if she responds.
Hey, house business. It's your
Well,
house is the one that's
perhaps
being,
I've misjudged
being
the situation.
infiltrated, and it's fine. I mean,
Perhaps I've misjudged the situation, Kieran.
it's no worries. My house is not the one that's in trouble.
Maybe you should go make sure Reich isn't corrupting Stalbor. No, Stalbor isn't corrupting Reich.
There you go.
Check on those two.
So
I'll go-
you
I'll
squeeze
go
the
corrupt
null
the two of them.
heart.
How about that?
And so
Yeah.
she turns and leaves.
hmm
And then when she leaves, the door shuts. I assume she actually doesn't even shut the door. The person, like, walking
would
by the
shut it.
hallway, or
Door
Luca would have to, like,
squire.
shut by the door.
Yeah, I would have to like actively go shut it. Yeah.
And so she then looks at you and she's like, "Really? You would bring a member of House Lyrandar in here?"
It was only to make her feel welcomed here, as she's been a bit.
I suppose it's appropriate that you would bring a shamed member of House Lyrandar in here.
Hurts.
Oh,
Rude.
Oh shit, son.
Well, she has done some things in her
We're not
past.
here to talk about her actions. We're here to talk about yours.
Okay. I look her in the eye and just.
Oh, I've
Wait.
read the whole report. I'm waiting to hear your excuses.
Which report would that be?
The one that flew in weeks ago from Grey Wall Outpost.
Okay, and what did they happen to say about me?
I'm not here to explain myself, Luca. You know very well what transpired there. What are your
Yes.
excuses?
I'd be willing to explain myself had I thought I'd done anything wrong. I'm not sure what you think was a incorrect action. So maybe if you could clarify that, I would have no problem explaining myself.
Absolutely.
Unless you want me to explain everything I've done since I've been there.
It is appropriate that somebody have their charges read to them.
Oh,
A nod.
You poisoned a supervisor, poisoned somebody of significantly superior rank to you, lying to him about the virulence of the poison, putting his life gravely at risk, and permanently harming his body, so he will never be repaired to what he was before. You then, of course, saved him, but in doing so, the actions of you and your party killed another former subordinate of his, the commander of the wall at that point in time, because you felt as though maybe that was the best course of action. All the while going on a wild goose chase for something that potentially could have existed there. Now, yes, there did end up being a changeling there, but how do you know that changeling wasn't there through our command? How do you know that wasn't a changeling that we had put in place?
I don't know that.
Yeah, that's
but I
right.
did-
You did not know that. So you
However-
went there without any orders, without any permissions, going on your own little hunt, causing the death of one of our officers, whether or not he actually was, you didn't know. And nearly killing somebody who was, at that point in time, not even a member of that watch anymore because of a hunch. Now, that doesn't even change the fact that you actually caused some significant harm to the reputation of a dear friend of mine. But please
So you
explain
want me
yourself.
to explain my actions?
Yes.
Absolutely. As for the poisoning of a high-ranking member of our family, it wasn't me poisoning him. I explained to him what would happen. He took the poison
Mhm.
by his own accord.
Oh,
he did it
I have
himself.
his
I didn't
letter
force
right here
feed
as
him.
well. Let
Sure.
me see. Oh, it's hard to read his handwriting with the condition he's in. But hold on. It says right here. Oh, it should make him feel woozy for a moment. Was that what you had said to him?
From my understanding, that's exactly what would happen.
I'm sure that was exactly what your understanding was.
As for
I just
me
want to be
not-
clear, Luca. Are we trying to use ignorance as our defense here?
Not at all. This
Okay.
is literally what I had thought would happen. This is not necessarily ignorance, but what I known to be true.
I think that's the definition of.
So yeah, Luca doesn't even respond to that, and then he says, "But as for doing this without orders, I had the orders to look for a changeling. I had the orders to do that exact thing. If there were a changeling that were there, that were hired by our family, why wouldn't I be informed of that in my orders, specifically when I was looking for threatening changelings and
Right.
had sent out to get that?
Perhaps that person was put in place for reasons that are beyond even my understanding.
So they're put in place, and then I am looking for changelings, and I potentially find a changeling. You don't think that need to know information was need to know with
I'll
me?
stop playing coy with you on this one. The report came back that he was a changeling, which was a big surprise to all of us. He was not supposed to be there. That was not somebody that was stationed to be there as a changeling. The fact that he was a changeling actually genuinely caught everybody off guard. That doesn't change the facts that that was not your place to be. You had no orders to be there, and you were certainly not going to be rewarded for actions that were not yours to take.
I'm not asking to be rewarded.
That's okay,
for
because you
what I've
certainly
done.
asked to be punished.
That's fine. I'll take the punishment.
You most certainly will. I am putting forward for you to be excommunicated from the house, but we'll see how you are judged when all is said and done.
I will be very. I'll shut down a bit at that. I'll be very respectful, but at the same time, it's just at this point like, okay, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Of course, ma'am. And
Where
just,
are you? Where are you heading off to?
We're going back to Sharn.
Good. Perhaps while you're in Sharn, you spend a little time with your brother and learn how to be a real member of House Deneath. You're dismissed and can leave.
Yes, ma'am. And I turn and leave. I just eat all that shit.
Kieran probably would have been waiting outside.
The Karen hear all
I
that.
probably wouldn't have left.
The doors are thick. You
No,
think about this. This is
probably.
the military
I wouldn't be
compound.
actively listening in.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then as I leave, you just see me like head low, swing. Yeah, it's just bad.
Do you want me to do something?
I'll shake my head. No, we probably shouldn't outstay our welcome here.
Okay.
That's too bad. I would have liked to do something.
I will, however, like to write a letter to Nico. Yes.
She's like,
Like, yeah, that's why I said his name, Nico.
yeah, no.
Thought
no,
it was
no, no.
implied.
Yeah. It's just funny.
Yeah.
So you write a letter to Nico. What does it say? Quickly.
I'm just gonna say we're headed back to Sharn. We need to talk about things that have happened and then what's the name of the keep?
Grey Wall Outpost.
Yeah, so we need to talk about things that have happened in the Grey Wall Outpost. I need to get your views of what could have happened.
Okay. And you send. Obviously, you're not sitting around waiting for a letter to return. So you send the letter and then you start traveling.
Correct.
Do you tell us that you were threatened of being excommunicated?
Not right away. It wouldn't be a
Okay.
right away thing. It might be soon.
You still
but, like,
have another couple weeks of travel to finish that month and a half I had
Right.
previously mentioned. So it could be during that travel. It's up to you. But let's finish what you're doing while you're in Guild
I would
Spire.
also send a letter to my mother saying all the normal greetings and telling her to be wary about who she trusts at this moment. I would use illusionary script to do so, though, so that only she could read it.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you. All right, keep going.
And then I would assume Kieran. Well, after I do my things, I don't know if Kieran stayed with me for my letter writing. I assumed so. We'd probably head back
Probably.
to where Reich and Stalbor were and suggest that so I didn't bring up any of the shit that happened, but I'm suggesting that we leave almost effective immediately. Like, we should probably get out of here.
So it's probably like when you guys had that meeting, you guys end up leaving like that evening and get at least
Yeah.
a couple hours travel in daylight and the rest of it in the night, and then
Right.
finally pass out. Like, okay, actually no, because you could hop on a barge and go down river. See if they're a
How
little bit
much would
quicker. or
that
whatever.
cost us, Scott?
Yeah,
We don't
it's-
have the money for that.
It's actually not terribly expensive because you're not using incredible forms of travel. It's just a barge going down river, right? So it's significantly cheaper. So don't even worry about it. I can tell you the 6,000 or whatever gold it is later on. So you guys start making your way down there. Now, Luca, while you guys are on the barge, I mentioned the first couple of days you're pretty reclusive.
Absolutely.
Do eventually you open up to the party about what had transpired?
It would take things being said, so I wouldn't just open up on my own accord. It would have to be like a conversation that had happened, and then so
Well,
Oh,
would,
I know how this would start. We're talking about what the plan is during Shan, and Star Wars will immediately. Of course, we'll just have to go to the House Deneath Embassy. We'll just show Luca's little face, the house beneath embassy, and they'll immediately tell us where Luca is. And we've done this before. Everything flows. The paperwork flows so much faster. We just look at that armor. It has the logo.
My
If we
character.
needed someone that looked even more house beneath. I don't think we could if we tried.
The worst part is, it doesn't matter his instinctive emotional reactions to this. Stalbor is, I do not read. He is disadvantaged to insight with humans.
I wouldn't
No
notice.
clue. No clue. He'd be
Right.
like, yeah, see, he agrees, right? You agree?
I'm trained in insight, so it's like the exact opposite. I could tell like right away as soon as he left the meeting that something was wrong, and then I've been watching him these past couple days, and
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 right,
then
just watch
just
like
when
the
you-
train wreck unfold.
when I watch you do that, my character does like a metaphorical face palm. Yeah, I just like look at you, and like I just say I as soon as like you finish talking, I just say I simply say, perhaps perhaps you should I look at my character, not understanding how you don't understand the subtlety of this, looks at Luca, looks back at you, and says, perhaps there's another way.
Well, I can't think of one. Maybe
As
fine.
of right now, neither can I. However, that won't work.
Then
You want your cupcake, you
That's
weirdo.
no clue.
Okay, so
Well, I guess we'll need to think harder. I have contacts in Shan. Denon won't help us again for free. Just let that be known. We might have
What
to
do
do
we-
a favor for him to
what
get
we
a
need to
favor from.
accomplish? What are we looking to accomplish in Shard?
You're gonna
Get
look for information on Dask. I'm
We're
gonna
gonna-
secure his passage to Stormreach.
And
Yeah.
I essentially want to meet with Nico.
Okay, well
And
then.
Stalber's gonna hang around.
I actually have shit I would do if
Mhm.
we're all splitting up, I would also split up as well. One, because even though I'm probably because it's been weeks and weeks, I'd realize, oh, he doesn't necessarily want to be around me right now. And two, I actually have people in Shan, although I know that going alone right now is maybe not smart. In somewhere I know that
Yeah.
people know that I've been out of game, Stalbor
Yeah.
won't realize this.
But Reich will, and he actually, I'll voice this concern before we leave. I say, as important it is to be expeditious in this task, I fear as though our splitting ranks may prove opportunistic for outside forces. We're dealing with an enemy who, during a combat that I could only describe as beyond hectic, was able to switch a person that was well known to one of our party members. I understand that in travel with this person, we would be able to suss out that they were fake. However, who knows what would happen to our companions at that time.
You're right.
A switch is easy, and it could be quick. And we're
While
in
in
one of the
Shan-
largest and easiest to lose easiest to lose cities in the entire of Corvair. Perhaps we should take our business together,
We should
I'm gonna
buddy up.
turn and
I'll
say-
hook
or
up
at least
with
in
Reich.
pairs.
Luca would say, what I have to do alone. And he'll look at Kieran.
I don't know if that's a good idea.
No, you go with
Could-
Kieran, I go with Reich. It'll be
Well,
fine.
Kieran, you suggested that the person pretending to be Nico doesn't know that I know. So if we go, I think they'd be able to know.
Not
I
necessarily.
don't.
I mean,
I
they
don't
know you know.
if you can lie convincingly to him.
It's valid.
I
Stalbor will
don't know
not.
either.
So I think maybe a brute force approach would be best in the situation.
So you think we should just attack him?
No, I don't think we should just attack him. I think we should just say, listen, he's in a no. Oh well. Gonna keep him out shut. Deal still stands.
So you'll see some like gears working.
And
like,
I'll
for the
make
first
sure you
time,
don't kill him. That'd be
Right.
preferable.
For the first time,
he gets one hit. It's just enough.
Luca Luca seems slightly optimistic for the first time. Not like excessively, but he's been like head down in his own little mode for a bit. So now he has like a slight bit of optimism to him when he hears you say that. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
And while
Okay.
you two do that and secure his passage, we will check out any leads on desk here, and if there are tasks you need to accomplish while we are here at Stalbor, then I will gladly assist.
Nothing more than catching up with old friends. Let's focus on the conspiracy to take over the world or whatever we're doing.
And then after our completion, we can meet back at our home that I forgot we own.
I don't know if we still
haven't
own that.
been
We don't
paying.
own
God,
it.
we have so
The
much
rent.
back rent we owe.
Like essentially, you just like.
I don't
have
think
to
we still
dodge
live
the
there.
landlady. We have to dodge the
I
landlady.
gave the keys back. We cannot go back there.
You gave him the keys back? I did terrible things to that room.
You guys make your way up into Sharn. You get there. Yay. We're finally excited to be back home. It's been ages since you've been here. Weather's different, all that. But the you guys finally make your way back to Sharn. And you start settling in, probably an inn first to test the waters about like where if you have not you have the house anymore, or actually go speak with Nico and all the other stuff. Getting a hold of your contacts. You finally get there and get settled in and ready to do what it is that you need to do. With that, we are going to actually pull the session in. Unfortunately, we did end up losing about 20 minutes worth because of Comcast issues and whatnot. So we can't push any further to find out exactly what's going on with Nico and whatnot. That'll have to wait until next week. That's frustrating, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles, or the cupcake crumbles. So it was a very interesting way that things kind of played out just now with the whole Luca getting and all that. So
Don't worry, Luca has optimism now. He's good.
We're gonna figure out how things are going when we come back next week, and we continue to try to unravel these threads of deceit, because it's reap what you sow. Like, get it?
Oh,
like-
no, that's so
Yeah.
fucking funny.
You get it?
Yeah, that was. I did all my laughing the first time you said it. Now I didn't laugh.
But you didn't laugh though.
No, I'm pretty sure my initial reaction was that's stupid. I don't
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
type it.
Yeah.
And then like, oh, is this title also spelt wrong? Chat's not gonna get that. And then guess what? Chat didn't get it.
Oh, one random dude that popped in.
I had a bit every time I've seen someone say your title is spelt wrong.
You would
I'd
have-
have it
you would-
fixed 3 bits.
2 bits, I think.
I haven't noticed.
All right. Anyways, it was a pleasure, everybody. Thank you so much for swinging by and hanging out. Next session, hopefully, we continue to unravel even more of the story. We will find out. So, thank you all. Bye.
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 Thank you, Midori. You're great. I'm so sorry. I was so excited to go because
Okay,
it's
just,
12:30. It's 12:30. I'm sorry, Ollie. Who are you? How do we find you? Why are you there and all that?
Of my show starting on Wednesday. That's slightly important to me. So yeah, on Wednesday, chapter 2 of my D&D show starts, where Scott's playing game again, and so are the rest of my friends. Not these guys, and not really my friends. So that's that. That's why I dragged us back to the abyss, because I'm excited for chapter 2, and I spend a lot of effort in the crowd.
Your
Bye.
sound is coming in and out. It's a little weird. I'm sorry. So I'm going to ask you to pretty much repeat that because I couldn't understand
Really?
most of what you just said.
What? Okay. Chapter 2 of my D&D show is on Wednesday. That's it. It's good. I'm excited.
Sorry, I just didn't want you
He's
to
also
not
very
be heard.
angry, apparently.
Well, it's nice.
His excitement is very angry.
Luca, what's up with you? Will?
I'm Will. I drink beer. Enough said.
Got him.
Aaron?
Hi, I'm Erin. I'm here on Fridays. I bake cupcakes occasionally, and I post recipes online. So there's that too.
Well, these are the yummy ones. They're peanut butter and chocolate. They're flippity flopping delicious.
That's true. They're Scott's favorite.
Yeah.
I also might do an art stream tomorrow, drawing Scott's character for the Wednesday show. but that's a maybe.
Ooh.
Reich, who are you? Eric?
Me? I'm Kudensai64 on Twitter. I'm also on the Discord. You guys should join the Discord if you're not a part of it already. It's awesome. We make fun of each other a lot. That's pretty much like a third of general chat. And yeah, and that's about it.
I am actually going to be doing a stream today, tomorrow, whatever you want to call it, since it's after midnight. It's technically my birthday now. Yay! I'm going to be doing a stream tomorrow early my time because I'm going to spend the evening with my family and whatnot. So I don't know what I'm going to do yet. Mathis and I talked about playing a video game, and then he ghosted like he always does. So we'll figure out what it is I end up doing. But I will catch you all later. Now official. Bye.
Bye.